Good evening, everybody. This is Tracy Walker, and I am going to go ahead and cut my camera on live here in just 1 second. But I am just getting in and having to take care of some mommy duties really fast. And what I'm going to do in the meantime, though, is welcome each and every one of you here this evening. We're going to start on time tonight because we want to be respectful of everyone's time, and we want to make sure that we end at a decent hour, okay? So it is 9:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're going to go ahead and get things cranked up. Now, oh, bless you. Now, tonight's webcast, or tonight's Hangout is a very, very special pre-webcast Hangout that is in preparation for this Saturday, the webcast that is taking place. And the reason why I'm doing this hangout, let me go ahead and cut my camera on now. All right, there I am. The reason why I am doing this hangout is because I wanted to highlight some of the very, very special people that have taken action in reference to the webcast that is happening on Saturday. Okay, now we've had quite a few. We've had a lot of people to register. So what I did was I said, well, the easiest and most rewarding thing on this hangout is to grab the first 10 people that said, I am ready to attend the hangout or the webcast on Saturday, and invite them as panelists here with me to share with you a little bit about themselves, for them to share with you and with me what it is that caused them to get registered for the webcast on Saturday, as well as them asking me their number one burning question. All right, so for all the panelists that happen to join us tonight, I know that all 10 of you guys may not be here because there were about 3 people that I don't think will be home or something like that. So I know that we have a good 7 of the first 10 that have said, yes, I'll be there. And we've got 3 of you guys here now. So we'll give you guys a chance to ask your number one burning question. And then before everything is over, I am going to announce a very, very special raffle that we're going to do at the end of the end of this hangout, and what the gifts of that raffle is going to be. So you are going to have to stick around to the end to find out how to get your name in that raffle, and how you can possibly win something that I'm going to be giving away that I know that you would absolutely enjoy and love. All right. So again, my name is Tracy Walker. Welcome to this evening's hangout. And if you don't know who I am or anything like that, this is your first time experiencing me, or being in an environment where we're interacting with one another. I am a home-based business entrepreneur. I am a network marketer. I'm an internet marketer, and I come from a background of corporate, right? I have a master's degree in business, and I started using that degree when I first when I graduated from grad school and went into corporate America. And then after September the 11th, the company that I worked for, which was a very, very huge energy company, it wasn't Enron, okay, but we were a competitor of Enron. After that event took place, my company went through several rounds of layoffs, and I was laid off in 2002. And I vowed at that time that I would not put myself in a position again as to where a company could just let go of me because whatever reason, right? And generally, you go to school so that you can make more money, right, at your jobs, get more degrees, make more money, and then when companies have to downsize, who do they let go first? The people that cost too much, right? So the people that made the most money were generally the ones that kind of had to get their walking papers. So I took my severance package, I took my Georgia unemployment, I started a real estate investment company where I ran that company from 2002 through 2007.
Would you hand me
and
my purse?
It was mainly because the downturn in the market with my real estate business that caused me to seek additional ways to earn income. Now, real estate business, I did really well. I did really well in that business, and when I look back on that, I had a wonderful life, right? I built a brand new home, bought cars, traveled, did all wonderful types of things. The problem came in when our closings went down from 3 closings a month, where we were closing about 3 deals a month at $30,000 each, and that was roughly, because that was our criteria, about $90,000 a month. Plus, we had like 6 employees. We had several people on payroll, things of that sort. So we needed that. We needed to have that. We went from having 30,000 plus deals per month down to 3 deals for the whole year in 2006. So as a result of a lack of cash inflow, my home went into foreclosure. My cars went into repossession. We had to rig our electricity, the gas, the cable. Everything was wonderful looking on the outside, but on the inside, we were really, really struggling. So I was open to looking for a way to make some additional income. In January of 2007, I was introduced to the wonderful world of home-based business. So my very first presentation in network marketing. And then I signed up, and for the next 12 months, built a business offline, because that was all I knew. I knew nothing else. I was completely brand new to the entire industry. Built a business offline, and was frustrated with a few areas of how the business was run. For one, I was tired of driving around to people's houses trying to do presentations or doing presentations, and then one person is showing up in the room, right? I was tired of being in the snow in Chicago and having to put on several layers of clothing and boots and all this to get to someone's house and have to defrost, and water's dripping because the snow is all over you and all over everywhere, and then people weren't buying because they had to wait till tax time, and all these different things that took place. And it frustrated me a little bit. And I wanted to find a way where I could leverage myself, right? So in March of 2008, after one full year, a year and 2 months actually, excuse me, of being in the industry offline, I got online to search for ways to video myself and record presentations. And then that way, at least when someone said that they wanted to know, or they wanted to come take a look at the business that I was in, I didn't have to physically be there, right? I could literally send them this video that I had pre-recorded, and everything be gravy from there. And that was my introduction to the rabbit hole, right, of internet marketing and being online. Since 2008, I've been able to have some successes. I've been able to be in one system that I was in. I was the number one female producer in that system. I was a member of the top 10 for probably about 2 or 3 years when I was in that. It gave me the opportunity to start speaking on stage in front of thousands, being in a training position where I spoke to thousands globally, worldwide, on webinars, on trainings, and doing videos. I released 3 products as a result of that. One was called Be Blog Savvy. Another one was called Prospecting, Closing, and what was my product called? Prospecting, Closing, and Selling Made Easy. Those were CDs that I had, and then I also had several audio webcasts, or several audio products that I've released as well. Now, even since then, over the last 2.5 years, I've been able to take some of the skill sets that I've learned, and it has allowed me to generate over $1 million in commissions, right? In commissions to my bank account in about 27 months. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and give an income disclosure there, because I worked my tail off, obviously, right, from 2008 through now, to learn these skills and to put some of these things in practice and to generate results. And so I cannot guarantee that, because of the things that we'll share with you here tonight, that you will do that. But I will tell you that I'm living proof that it's possible, and it's possible to do it starting from zero, because as I told you, when I got started, I was in foreclosure, right? And I was doing the business just to kind of keep gas in the car, kind of keep, things kind of moving a little bit. I was on food stamps. I had to go to get food stamps at that point in time, right? So things were slim. And so I know that it can be done, because I'm living proof, and I've done it, all right? And so I'm here to encourage you to stay in the game, and to stay focused, and to just stick around the right people, like this group here, and implement the things that we'll be sharing with you. And before long, if you keep your head down and stay busy, you will be in a position to achieve your dreams, whatever those things may be. All right. So that's the gist of where we are here. Now, what brings us all here tonight is literally the fact that I have put together a special webcast that will be taking place on Saturday, on this coming Saturday, which is January the 3rd. It'll be 2015. It's going to be from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the co-host that I have as panelists on the Hangout with me tonight happen to be the first 10 people who purchased their seat to that webcast. All right. Now, if you're watching this, you're probably doing so on hangoutwithtracy.com, and right underneath this video, you will see a button that says, you know, get your webcast seat now, or reserve your seat to the webcast. Well, what we want you to do is to go ahead and click on that and get your seat. The seat is $17, right? $17. It's not $100. It's not $1 million. It's not $1 zillion, right? It is $17. You can literally spend $17 at McDonald's if it's you and about 3 other people, okay, plus tax. So I know you got $17, all right? And so what we're doing here tonight is we're going to share some insights. So for those of you that have not made a decision yet to join us, that sometime throughout this Hangout, you will make that decision, okay? And my goal on that webcast will be to help give you the nuts and bolts, literally give you the meat of what you need in order to start generating results. And when I say results, I mean getting more customers and clients for whatever your business is, as well as generating more sales. More sales means more money, right? And if you're going to be in business, you got to understand 2 things. You got to understand how to get the people, right? And then you got to understand how to share enough value with the people that solves a problem that they have, where they are willing to exchange their money, however much it is, for what it is that you are providing as a solution, all right? And that's what this webcast on Saturday is going to go into great detail about. And tonight we're going to hash on a little bit of that stuff. So without further ado, what I like to do now is just introduce our panel here that's on the line, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with Miss Elaine. So Elaine, just give us, you know, your name, where you're calling from, and tell us why did you jump on this Hangout as a panelist with us tonight?
Hi, Tracy, and everybody out there in internet land. I'm Elaine Green. I live in Kansas City, Missouri, and I started online probably maybe a year and a half ago, maybe almost 2 years, and I was doing, you know, fairly well, but then I kind of had some things, you know, how life can happen, and I just kind of lost my focus, and I've just kind of been out of the business for a while. So I'm just getting ready to rev it back up for 2015. And when I got the information about your Hangout, I couldn't think of any better person than to tune into than Tracy Walker. So I'm here.
All right, Miss Elaine. Well, it's always a pleasure to see your smiling face. I'm so excited that you are, like you said, revving things back up, and that you're ready to make 2015 your best year yet, right?
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Looking
Well, we'll
forward
be
to it.
coming
I
back
see
to
big
you.
things.
That's right. That's right. So we'll be coming back to you. I want you to think about that #1 burning question that you have, because we will be, I will be coming back to you to get that question answered. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Roger Silvera, how are you this evening, sir? Roger, you're muted.
Tracy, can you hear me?
I hear you now.
You can hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
How are you? I'm loud. I'm in a loud restaurant. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, Roger, we hear you. The issue is it sounds like you can't hear us.
Yeah, I know. I'm in downtown Atlanta. Hey, guys. Well, I
Yes,
wanted
you
to
are
tell
in
you
Atlanta.
the opportunity to be on the Hangout, first and foremost. Um, for me, you know, being part of this Hangout, being part of your program, just really helps me in terms of putting together a more expanded knowledge base of blogging and marketing. And obviously, since working with you for the last couple of years, it has allowed me to really understand how important blogging is to my business. And for Saturday, I'm really looking forward to, not only the insights and things of that nature, but also just to continue to expand my knowledge base. I always never turn down an opportunity to gain information, and when opportunity like that arises, I always want to jump on that. So when I found that shop on Saturday, I definitely want to make sure that I was in position to take advantage of it. So, but blogging has always remained to me one of my core marketing strategies. And for me, it's all about getting more consistent with um, not only the art of getting better at keyword research, getting better at positioning my content, so that the people that deserve to see it and read it can take action on it, because I believe that I produce valuable content, and I think that comes from a mindset that I've developed. Is that when I first started blogging, I wouldn't say that I hadn't have anything valuable. I just didn't know how to put it together. And now that I've gone through this process, this metamorphosis, it has allowed me now to really take the skills that I have now and apply it and actually produce results. Whether it's in the form of leads, whether it's in the form of sales, whatever the case may be, I am now confident that I can create a result. But for me, there's always new information that's out there. And so for me, I'm always wanting to learn, wanting to grow and get consistent. And so that's one of the benefits of not only working with somebody like you, Tracy, but also that you can never think that you know everything. You never feel like you have arrived. So for me, while I have a lot of information at my disposal about blogging, you can never have too much information in terms of being willing to apply new information, new ideas, and new concepts. So that's what I'm looking forward to on Saturday, is really that aspect. So.
All right. Well, we are definitely glad to have you. Roger, I don't know if you have one or two or however many questions you have, but I just want you to pick one thing, one burning question that you have that you're facing in your business right now. Think about what that is, and make sure that when we come back around to get to that section of the Hangout, that we go ahead and get that answer for you. Fair enough?
Okay.
All right.
So
awesome,
one thing.
Roger. You're awesome. Thanks for joining us this evening. All right, let's move on to Shelly. Shelly, go ahead, unmute. Tell us, well, we know first name is Shelly, but give us your full name, where you're hanging out with us from, and what brought you to tonight's Hangout. Why are you here? In other words, why did you say yes to the invite?
Hi, Tracy. Can you hear me?
Yes, Miss Shelly, I hear you.
Oh, well, you know what? I have been following you for the past 2 years. I'm not like the other people on the panel. I have no experience. I'm a total newbie to internet marketing.
Okay.
So I'm a little nervous, I'm saying, because I feel, these people have experience. So I feel a little out of place. But like I said, I have been following you, Nicole Cooper, Vic, Adrian Hines. So I said to myself, it must be something to this, So I kept watching different videos on YouTube, and you, Tracy, never gave up on me. You kept sending me emails over and over again, So I said to myself, let me check this out. And I'm trying now to get started, but being a newbie, everything right now for me is a little overwhelming. I mean, I have HyperTracker, GetResponse, the things that I need to get started, to get things going. But like I said, it's a little confusing right now for me. So I tuned in because I feel like I'm talking to Michelle Obama up there, I mean, you have so much experience. So that's the reason why I'm here.
Okay. Well, let me
on the panel too.
Okay. Well, let me just share with you that this is a place where newbies can learn too. Okay, Saturday's webcast, we are going to. I mean, it's 3 hours long, right? And so obviously we're going to take things step by step, right? We're not. The goal isn't to go over your head, right, and just kind of throw a bunch of things at you that you aren't going to be able to pick up. Some things are going to be new, of course, but I believe that the way that we're going to approach it, that you're going to be able to eat it in bite-sized pieces. Okay, I started new just like everybody else, right? I had a day in 2008 where it was my first time too. All right, and so no one comes into this already experienced. Everybody has to have a day one, and if this is, figuratively, this is your day one, then we welcome you, and we'll do our best to make sure that you get up and running, and we help you achieve some of the goals that you want to achieve. How's that?
Thank you.
You got it. Make sure you have that burning question ready for us when we come back around, okay?
I have many questions, but I'll try to choose one.
There you go. Sounds good. All right, Miss Shelley. Talk to you in a little bit.
Okay.
All right. So we've got, it says Terrence. This is Terry, right?
That's
okay. All right. Well, do we want you to talk a lot?
Hey, can you hear me?
Wait a minute. You're breaking up there. Say it again.
Hi, can you hear me?
Okay, there you go. You sound
right,
like your
yes.
voice was hoarse at first.
I am logged in under Terrence, who happens to be my loving husband, because I am having technical difficulties tonight. But nevertheless, I'm here. My name is LaShawn China Williams.
Okay, LaShawn.
Yes, and I am actually calling in from the Atlanta area, North Atlanta. So I'm a local girl just like you. And I actually was just excited to have the opportunity to work with you personally. I've followed you online. I know who you are. I feel like I know you personally just because of the connection that we've made online and via email as well. And so when I saw the opportunity, I said, this is it. I have to jump on. It's super cheap. I mean, where else can you get valuable information for such a great price? And the timing was perfect because it's the end of the year and I am looking to move forward into the new year, looking forward to big things, and I am pretty new, really, at internet marketing, so I'm just excited to be here and learn from the best.
Well, LaShawn, we are so glad, and I am so happy to have you. I did not know that you were in the Atlanta area.
Yes.
So we've got to do what we've got to do so that you're going to be joining us live, right, at the event on Saturday. Hopefully you can make it as a VIP.
Hopefully so. Hopefully.
All right, because it's going to be awesome. And one thing that that we're going to do for the people that will be there as VIP is there's going to be the meeting after the meeting, right? So we've got the webcast from 2 to 5, and then the people, I think we have room for like 20 people. The 20 people that are in the room, during some of the breaks, we'll be answering questions. I'll be able to kind of answer, walk through and see what you need help with specifically throughout the room. And then we're going to have dinner together, starting at 5. Got a wonderful dinner being catered. So we're going to eat fabulously. And then from 6 to 8, we're going to do some group coaching, right? We're going to do answering some more questions. We're going to do some giveaways. I'll be giving away a copy of my book and some other things of that sort. And really, my goal is to get to know you a little bit better and be able to give some personal attention to the needs that you have in developing and growing your business, all right? So that is the benefit to being in the room live, as well as a gift bag and some other goodies that we have going on. So hopefully you'll be able to join us on Saturday live.
Well, it sounds great. Thank you.
You got it. You got it. All right, moving right along, Mr. Tony. How are you, sir?
How are you?
I am wonderful, and you?
I'm fantastic. I got a little bit of the flu thing going on, so despite the fact that I approached this business with an open mouth, I am going to be a man of few words tonight. And just share with you, my name is Tony Stewart. I'm from Reynoldsburg, Ohio, which is right outside Columbus, Ohio. And like many folks on the panel here, I've been following you for some time now. And the reason why I'm here, I think, which is your central question, the reason why I'm here is because frankly, the price was right. It was, I mean, the price could have even been more, but a chance to pick the brain of someone who has the fruit on the tree was what attracted me to this whole thing. You know, I'm a follower of a gentleman by the name of Tony Robbins, and Tony Robbins always says that success leaves clues. So the opportunity to get those clues and pick up those distinctions. You know, there's another guy by the name of Jim Rohn who says that success is like a combination lock, and sometimes we go through life with 5 out of 6 of the numbers, and we have to search around. We have to look around to find that 6th number. We never know where we're going to find it. Well, I believe that this Saturday we're going to get some of those numbers. We're going to get that 6th number perhaps, and I'm looking forward to doing that. So.
I like that, Tony. Let's line up that combination. Let's get this last number on knocked out for you so you can unlock that lock and get on with the rest of your life with things you want to do. How about that?
There it is.
And the great thing, Tony, about the way that we are set up tonight is that even with your flu, we won't catch it. Yeah.
That's right. You guys are totally safe. I was
you can talk as much as you want. We're fine with it.
You see me coughing, I'll just mute myself out and you'll know what's going on. But you'll be totally safe. So
that's right. See, the beauty of having an online business, right? You can speak, you can be personable. We can be face to face. We can be right up on each other. And guess what? We still have, this ability to keep our germs to ourselves.
That's it. Nice.
Well, awesome. Tony, I'm so glad that you decided to get your seat for Saturday. I truly believe that this will be something that will help a lot of people break through with just some of the what seemingly seems to be the mundane things, right? The things that even me included, right? I mean, you get going and you get to a certain point and you forget that, oh man, I never explained this part. Oh shoot, I forgot there are people that have never done this before, and even the word autoresponder, they have no clue what that means, right? And so sometimes the jargon and sometimes the perception is that we're talking to people that kind of already know what we're talking about, right? And so we have to take a step back. And Saturday is my my way of doing that and taking people from beginning up through at least a workable level where they can move forward. So that's my goal. I'm glad that you're going to be taking part in that as well. Make sure you have your burning question lined up too, okay? All right, so guys, listen. Before we get into some of the questions of the panel, what I am going to do is I am going to see if you guys have any questions. Those of you that are listening in, that you're watching this Hangout right now and you're live with us, I want to see if there is anything that you guys would like to know, okay? So what we definitely would want to do, hold on one second. Before I do that, let me kind of refresh some stuff here on this screen so that I make sure I'm getting all the most up-to-date information, okay? And I'm going to be checking, tapping into the Hangout page as well. Now on Saturday, okay? On Saturday, it's going to be a completely different setup, right? On Saturday, I've got camera operators, right? I've got a person handling the questions and answers. I've got a person handling the lighting, transferring back and forth from the slides to me, the camera, the this, to that. It's like a big production, okay, on Saturday. Tonight, it's just me, right? So I'm flipping back, right? And so sometimes you might see my eyes moving over here because I'm looking at one screen at the same time over here, trying to mute, trying to answer. So bear with me, right? This is a one-woman show tonight. Saturday, I promise you, it will be definitely worth the $17. Okay, it'll definitely be worth it for your time as well. So let me see. Let me pull this screen back up over here, and let's see what's going on over here on the page and see if we have any questions. Something has been going on with my browser lately where I do not have my I don't see my updates on this page for whatever reason it is. I don't know why. Can one of you guys do me a favor? Can one of you guys go over to hangoutwithtracy.com for me on another window, another tab? And oh, never mind. I see what's going on here. Oh, wait a minute. Something is crazy. Okay, I see what's going on. All right. So, guys, look, those of you that are watching the webcast, or this Hangout on hangoutwithtracy.com, there are two buttons underneath this video. And one of them actually says join the dream team here, which it should not say that. Okay, it should not say that. But I did find out that if you take your mouse and hover over that gray button, it says reserve your webcast seat right now. And if you were to click that button, it actually takes you to where you can reserve your webcast seat. Okay, so this is not about joining my team. This is not about joining my business. This is not about doing any of that, because this is not about that tonight. This is about you and whatever business that you're in, marketing whatever company that you have. But I want to make that distinction, because if you're looking at this and you see that it says join the dream team, you might be reluctant. What I want you to understand is that this is not about that. So if you hover your mouse over it, you'll see where it says reserve your webcast seat here. Go ahead, click. It will take you to the page where you can go ahead and purchase your seat for the $17, and we're still all good. We're still all good. Now, with that being said, I don't see anything in here in terms of questions here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to our guests of honor. And we're going to get going with them, because listen, as I shared on a couple of the emails today, was, my goal is to kind of coach you a little bit, right? Coach a little bit in the time that we have this evening. We're not going to go 3 hours, but if we can get at least one question from our panelists answered, and they walk away with some certainty about that one thing, hopefully with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if we have a few more jump on, that will be some value given to you guys, those of you that are watching as well, because who knows, maybe one of them, one of our panel, one of our co-hosts actually has a similar question that you do. So I want you to listen closely. I want you to be very, very focused and listen intently to what they are asking and what we are sharing. And I'm going to also say that this is a conversation, guys, okay? So let's say we're going to go back over to Elaine. We're going to start with her. She's going to ask her question, and I'm going to do my best to answer her question. And if you guys have follow-ups to that question or something like that, I'm going to open it for you guys to kind of chime in there, which that won't count against you in your own question. But if you have something that you want to kind of throw in reference to someone else's question as a follow-up or a piggyback on that, we can do that as well. Okay, my goal is to help you guys as much as you possibly can on the time that we have. So, Miss Elaine, I am going to come back to you. Go ahead and unmute yourself and go ahead, throw it at me. What is your question? I hope I can answer your question. Don't throw me nothing hard, Elaine, please.
No, I don't think this is going to be too hard for you.
Okay.
My question is mainly about keeping focus.
Okay.
I'm coming from a corporate environment. I work a pretty stressful or mentally stressful job, and one of the challenges that I had was when I came home, I was so mentally exhausted. It was hard for me to rev myself back up to work, the 5 to 9 on my business. So I would be inconsistent. Okay, so now I'm at this place where I know that was more of my own personal thing I have to work through, and so now I'm in this space of understanding this more, how do I want to say it, it's now or never kind of feeling, and I really want to make this work where I can phase out of corporate America in 2015 and go full-time with my internet marketing business. So are there any suggestions that you would have as far as what could help me as far as really staying, I guess when I think about it, it's more about me managing my time and figuring out a way to really keep my energy levels up, because I have the desire for it. I know through a lot of the training and things I can do it, but my mental attitude is the thing that I really feel challenged with sometimes.
Okay, well let's start with the basis of the question, right? Because I get where you're going. you're working all
Mhm.
day, right? And then you come home and you want to get going in your business, but you're tired. You know, there's probably other things going on. You have other responsibilities, so on and so forth, whatever. I get it. Um, and then you talked about, just managing your time. First thing
Right.
I'm going to say is
Good
that
story.
the key to this is being able to manage yourself within the time, right? As opposed to managing the time, it's managing yourself within the time, right? Because we all have the same time.
Mhm.
Time isn't anything to manage. It's how we manage ourselves in that given period of time. Um, and so, yes, having a schedule, which we'll talk a little bit about, having a schedule is going to be important. But you asked me about focus, and let me ask you this. Why do you want to walk away from your job? What are you doing this for?
Then do not get in this picture, please, because that's one thing right there. um, why? Because I believe that after you've worked the majority of your life in corporate America, you just want, or I just want to really be free from uh, that type of control situation. Um, I want to have enough money to live the lifestyle that I want to live. Uh, releasing yourself from that paycheck to paycheck type of feeling. You have enough. And I heard you speak on this one time, Tracy, where you talked about people who are just comfortable because they can handle what they need to get handled. And I realized that I was one of those people. Though even though I wanted more, and I believed I deserved more, I basically, I guess I just kind of sat down and thought it was just going to drop in my lap. And I know that's not possible.
Okay, that's fair enough, right? You're being transparent
Hmm.
here, and that's what this is about. So you want to be free, and you want to have the money to live the way you want to live. So now, if you
Right.
were free, and if you had the money to live the way that you wanted to live, what would that do for you?
Um, Being able to live the way I want to live would actually, and have enough money, would actually position me to help more people financially, um, support some of the people that I truly love, and would like to assist in them having a better lifestyle, and um, being able to give more, and just to be able to have that freedom where when things come up where money is always the issue, that it's no longer an issue. You
Okay.
can, you don't, it's not to say I just want to throw money away and, give it away haphazardly, but when things come up that if you had the money, you could resolve the issue, as far as medical care for a family member, um, being able to help someone go to school or who truly wants it, because I get a little perturbed sometimes when I hear about people who get all these opportunities and they just throw them away like they're nothing. They, because they feel entitled or they just take it for granted. But I really want to support people who really want to have something in their life,
Okay.
and
Okay.
uh,
Okay, so
you know,
so listen, we're gonna go through this process again, right? And we're gonna keep going until I feel like we've got the answer. Okay. Um,
okay.
okay. So and the reason why we're gonna keep going is because this is, and just to give you everybody who's listening, right, and even you, Elaine, this is a program. This is a psychological thing that we all do. Okay. It's nothing different that you're doing, Elaine, that any one of us would do differently. What happens when we're asked these types of questions is that we've got a threshold, right? We've got a level, let's say a layer. I don't know, let's just say like here to here, right? And and
Mhm.
and we start answering questions from the top of our head, right? This is the answer, right? And then we'll ask
Right.
something deeper. We'll come down this far. right? Well, what I want to do, like, is I want to get down to the root, right? I want to get down here, right? Because these are the surface answers, and they're true, right? It's not that like they're not true. They are true. I do believe that you want to be free and have money to live the way that you want to live. I do believe that you want to help family members or whoever do whatever based on the fact that you can help because you put yourself in a position to help. But that's not going to keep you focused. Okay, so we're going to keep at this until we get down to the root. So if you were able to help the family member with the medical bills or help the college student get to college, what would that do for you?
I guess what it would do for is I would feel I would be serving a good purpose in life, because I feel like that was something that was always missing for me growing up. Um, and not, I guess you know, everybody has their own path and their own journey, and you have to uh, you know, look at it from that perspective. Is that was my path, that was my journey. This is how it had to happen for me. This is how I got here, and looking at everything um, for what it is. So when I look at young people, and then I look at myself when I was a lot younger, and I think, wow, if somebody had of gave me a helping hand or pushed me a little bit or said, hey, you know, girl, I see this in you. Why don't you, you know, do this? But because of the journey I had to go through, I just felt like it was a long journey. And so maybe by me being able to do something for someone else, I can shorten the journey a little bit for them.
Okay.
So I think that gives me some um, a feeling of purpose, that I was glad I was there to be available, you know, to help someone. Um, you know, I always have this thing about always want to reach out and touch people, heal people. And you know, like I think, okay, I really don't have any healing powers, but it's like, or I don't feel I do, but every time I hear about somebody being sick or needing something, I'm always trying to think or suggest of things that could help them and support them and be of service to them. So I guess it's this strong need I have inside, financially or spiritually, or however, I don't know the word to say, but just to be supportive of others. You know,
Okay.
it's a big thing for me to be available
Okay.
to do that. And a lot of times, because money is always the issue, it always comes back to, okay, I need to earn more money, so that would give me more flexibility, and it would give me more opportunity to support people if that is the need. Because I can always give an encouraging word. You know, I can always suggest a book or reading material, but I can't ever, I mean, I haven't been able to, and sometimes, you know, in some instances, I have been able to support people with money, but I just, you know, I guess I feel like I want more, I need more for some things.
Okay. I think we're
So
almost there.
I guess I get myself in this little, okay.
Yeah, I think we're almost there because I'm gonna dig a little bit
Uh,
deeper, right?
oh
Because
no.
we're getting there, right? And the
Okay.
reason I know we're getting there is because this is an area that we call like the black hole, right? It's when your eyes start
Okay.
moving around and you're looking for the answer, right? You're looking because this isn't the surface, and I want the deep rooted answer, right? So let's say that you had all the money that you needed, Elaine. Let's say you had all the money that you needed, and you could shorten the journey for someone else, right? And you feel
Hmm.
like it was part of your purpose to do that. Let's say you were fulfilling this purpose. What would fulfilling this purpose do for you?
I think I would. I think it would. I think I would feel fulfilled
Hmm.
in a way. You know, I guess I feel limited sometimes because I can't. And okay, as I'm digging a little deeper, I even see something else here where some people just can't be rescued. I guess it's a thing where I'm always wanting to rescue people. I'm always wanting to support. I'm always wanting to rescue. I'm always, kind of sticking myself out there where I don't all the time feel that I get the same support. But it's just something natural inside of me, just the way God made me that um, it's just important for me to be there for people, and I just want to be there in any and every way that I can. And so the only area that I feel is lacking with me really is the financial area.
Okay. So if you were able to do be free and have enough money to live the way you wanted to live, if you were able to help others and be able to give more when they needed it, if you were able to shorten the journey for people so they didn't have to go the long way around the mountain, and you felt it was your purpose to do that, and you felt fulfilled, the question now is, if you were to get up every day, Elaine, if you were to get up every day and go to work, and when you got home from work, if you sat down at your desk or sat down at your computer or sat down wherever you sit down to do your work, and you said to yourself, I have to do this, I have to move forward, I have to charge forward no matter what, because it is my purpose to do this, and I feel fulfilled when I do this, would you saying those things cause you to sit down, even if you're tired, even if you're hungry, even if you don't feel like it, would you sit down and do what you needed to do anyway if you said that to yourself?
Yes, because I've never said it that way before. I've always, I mean, up until now, I've come from this, I guess, this limited belief about how far I could go, and I could only go further if I had more money.
Yeah, that is a limited way of thinking of it. I mean,
Yeah,
because the thing is, it's like this. When you are driving on the road, right, and it's dark at night, and you can't see the 2 miles up the road, you kind of keep driving anyway, right?
true.
Because road is going to end. Like, you're going to drop off the edge, right? You believe that if you
Right,
keep going, even though it's dark, even though it's rainy, even if you're traveling out of town, you've never been on this road before, you just honestly don't believe that the road is going to end. Therefore, you don't pull over abruptly, stop, and say, hey, listen, I can't go any further until I know that there's more road down there. You kind of just assume that it's going to be there when you get there, right?
right,
Well, that's what you've got to be with this too. You can't say, well, wait, hold on, time out. I got to stop and pull over on my purpose, right? I got to stop and pull over on shortening the journey for somebody else. Because how are you shortening the journey when you stopping?
right,
How are you going to help others and give more when you're stopping because you're waiting on something that is already there? It's just you don't see it. So because you don't see it, you're inadvertently delaying the process, which is in turn lengthening the journey for someone, right? Because you're lengthening the journey for yourself.
okay, my video is stuck over here. Tracy.
Looks like we lost Tracy. She should be right back on. So just
I
sit
see
tight.
her. Yeah.
And it looks like her screen got frozen. So just sit back. She'll be with us in just a moment. She
Getting
was really
ready.
talking
Maybe we
about.
can.
She was really encouraging you to find out where you're looking to go. What are you willing to put yourself into wholeheartedly to reach the goals that you have for yourself? And letting your goals, you're letting that inner goal, and she was really drilling down with you to figure out where that goal was that would make you move forward, that would get you to get out of your comfort zone on a consistent basis to reach the goals that you have. So she was good. She was really getting there, wasn't she?
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got the little tail end of what you said.
I said she was really
Okay.
drilling down with you to really help you determine what those things were in your life that would cause you to get out of your comfort zone on a consistent enough basis to create the momentum you're looking for, to create the things that you want in your life, to really create the environments you want to create in your life. And she was drilling down pretty good, wasn't she? Hello. Now she's froze up. Is everyone else frozen? Is anyone not frozen?
Ashley are really great, And what's your name?
My name is Tony Stewart.
Tony, are you? Okay, Tony. Thank you.
Oh, you can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, all right, very good. It looks like for
Thank
a
you.
moment that you got frozen as well. So you're doing a great job of being transparent and helping and letting Tracy drill down and determine what your why is. I've heard once the gentleman say that your why should make you
Yeah.
cry, and I can see now that you're digging into that, and Tracy's doing a great
Well,
job into that.
yeah, she is. And and it's really interesting because that was not my intention for it to take this in that direction, but I guess it needed to go there.
Absolutely. I think that most people, if you sit back and you look at, there's only certain number of things that you have to do to be successful in anything, right? It's less
Mhm.
about what to do, and sometimes it's more about why you're doing it, you know? And um,
Yeah.
and the fact that she's drilling down with you, and you may think it's, well, why is she giving me all this attention? It's not just for you because a lot of folks, I myself included, as she's talking to you, I'm doing that self-examination, right? To say, how does this apply to me? How would I answer that question if she was asking that question? I started digging up and trying to look for things that would suggest what my why is for that very
Mhm.
same reason. So I just thank you for being willing to put yourself out there and work through this because it's a big deal.
Yeah, it is a big deal.
You know?
It is a big deal, and I think by having this conversation, it's helped me get better insight and clarity um, about my own personal past limited beliefs to having the breakthrough
Yeah.
to
Well,
yeah.
I believe 2015 is going to be a year of breakthrough for you. You think about the fact that, you know, this business is shown, or the whole industry of internet marketing is shown to so many people each year. But I think only certain
Yes.
people who are meant to see it can see it. And once those people see it and they plug into people like Tracy, then they can walk through those doors and have that consistency and have those results they're looking for. I know Tracy's right back on the line now, so I'm going to give it back to her. But it's awesome that we found her, we found each other, and we can work through these things together.
Tony, thank you so much. Thank you. You know what? I had the other page up, so I heard you kind of jump in there and take over for me while I was having whatever this ridiculous technical difficulty is. Thank you guys so much for keeping this moving and rolling. I'm telling you, it's just leaders are just all around all the time. So it's no coincidence that this group is here with us. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Elaine, I did hear you say that this wasn't, you didn't anticipate it going in this direction, right?
Right.
But Tony's absolutely right. I mean, the whole point, focus isn't always just about, okay, what do I need to do to eliminate distractions, right? Maybe you do need to eliminate some distractions. Maybe there are. But maybe there are no distractions, right? Outside of what's in your own head, right? And sometimes when you don't feel a strong enough connection to what your reason is for doing what you're doing, it's easy to walk away from the computer and go do something else, right? In the name of being unfocused. And I'll tell you what it was for me. For me, it's kind of like it's kind of weird. It's kind of like the reverse. Like some people gravitate towards what's in front of them, right? Like what's going to happen, the positive up there. I want the house, right? So I'm doing this thing for the house, for example. For me, that wasn't my why, right? My why was related more or less to what I did not want to experience again, right? I did not want to experience having to have a letter in the mail about the sheriff coming to my 3,500 square foot home, right? I did not want to have to go down to the state of Illinois again and tell these people that now I need government assistance for food, right? I did not want to call my brother-in-law over anymore and say, hey, listen, I need you to go in the backyard, right, in my beautiful subdivision. I need you to find the cable hookup to where everybody's cable is hooked up, and I need you to rig my cable so I can see television, right? I didn't want that anymore. So for me, when I would sit down and something was foreign to me and I did not understand it, and like Shelly, I was completely brand new, I was a newbie to this whole thing, I forced myself to figure it out, because the end result for me was that if I don't take the time to figure this out now, I am no further away from that problem, right? I'm closer to that problem by not figuring this out than I would be if I figure this out and take one more step away from that problem back there, right? That's how serious it was to me. So I was up 24 hours a day sometimes, right, doing what I had to do. There were times when I literally was just bloodshot red in the eyes. I cried many nights. Do you know what I'm saying? I cried many nights. Some of them because of my situation, but a lot of them because I didn't understand stuff, you know, and I'm trying to get through this and I want to make this work, and I felt I was smart, you know. I felt like, oh, wait a minute, I'm an educated person, right? I'm not the most ignorant person on the planet. I've seen people that are what I would consider not as smart as me do things 10 times what I was doing, right, in this industry. I'm like, if they can do this, I just got to figure out where the opening is for me, right? And it wasn't until I attached to what that why was where that became my focus, right? My dad, I don't know if you guys have met my dad before, but my dad will tell you that he thinks something is wrong with me because I have like this unwavering focus, right? This unwavering focus. And I'm telling you, Elaine, it's because of that. It's because I've connected with the why, right? Especially then. Now, I have a different why now, but I'm talking about getting, like, you want to get out of corporate America, right? So what is it that you can attach to that's going to pull you up out of that? When you get out, you might focus on something else, right? But this fulfillment and you feeling like you will be living your purpose, if that is truly what this brings to you, the ability to amass the income that you need to support those that you choose to support. Not that you have to support everyone just because they ask, but the people that you choose to support and help. Right. If that brings you a sense of fulfillment and purpose, Elaine, then when you sit down every day, you should no longer need focus.
Got it.
And if you do find yourself needing focus, that's what you focus on. right? You meditate on that. You pray on that. You pray on bringing yourself being centered because you are doing what you need to do because it is your purpose to do this because it gives you the ability to do what things you really want to do. That makes sense?
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. And does that help everybody else on the panel too?
Great stuff. You know, focus stands
Yeah.
for follow one course until successful.
You got it. You got it. Right? And I mean, it eludes many people, right? Because of its simplicity. And we're always saying, right, if your why doesn't make you cry, it's not strong enough. But you have to dig down to the why, right? The why is not, I want enough money to live on. That's not the why.
No.
Because you'll sit down at that computer and be like, oh, I want enough money to live on. Okay, but what is that? Well, I don't know. Okay, well, let me go cook dinner. I'll deal with this later. Right? That's not
right.
It's nothing. It's so ambiguous. It has nothing. It means nothing to your soul. That. Right? And so I challenge everybody that if you have a question about focus, and you know, wanting to know what things you need to do outside of actually managing yourself within the time, outside of saying, hey, I'm going to work from 2 to 3, right? And I'm going to work from 6 to 7 or whatever, and focus on income producing activities at that time. Outside of that, when you do sit down, this is how you get down to the business at hand and not play around on Facebook, not play around checking emails, not play around doing the things that's busy work when you only got 60 minutes. You know, when you only got 60 minutes, you got to get down to it. Right? And all the other minutia can wait until, you know, you're in you know, on a break at work and you can check all that stuff then. Make sense?
Makes sense.
All right. So do you have a better grasp on your why now?
Yes.
Yay! Success.
So the goal is to get so rich that I'm just this philanthropist and I just give money all the time.
You know what? I where's my magazine? I did a call the other day. It's over here. I'm gonna go over here and grab it really quick. It's a magazine that was from 2012, and you've got Oprah on the front, you've got Bill Gates on the front, and you've got Warren Buffett on the front. Hold on, let me grab it. It's just right over here. And I keep this magazine because it's about philanthropy, right? And it's almost, well, it's 2 years old because it's December 24th, 2012, right? So you've got the Forbes magazine, and the date down there is December 2012, and you can see you've got Oprah, you've got Warren Buffett, and you've got Bill Gates, right? Now, when you open this up, because it's like a trifold cover before you even get started with the magazine, right? Then you've got the other people, right? You got the other people, and they're all sitting in this room together, right? John Bon Jovi is down there, some other business people. This is a couple over here. But here's the heading, here's the title of the cover. It says, Making It Big, Giving It Big, the Titans of Philanthropy. Right?
Yes.
The Titans of Philanthropy. And so, you know, you look at this initially, right? And you say, oh my goodness, these are like 3 of the richest people that we know, right? That's what we would say, right? The average person would say that. But this magazine isn't talking about them making the money so much, right? It's talking about how much they have given as a result of the money that they've made, right?
Yes.
So they're titans of philanthropy. They're not like little givers here and there, right? Titans of philanthropy, and this is indicative of what I hear you saying that you want to do, Elaine. You know,
yes.
So you've got to get down to the nitty gritty. You've got to get going, right? Because there are people that are waiting for you, and you don't have time to lollygag around because somebody is waiting for you to rise up and be there and intersect their life at a certain point in time with what it is that you want to do that helps them to do what it is that they want to do. You know, so maybe this image, right, of this magnet, maybe you can look it up. I don't know, but I keep it. I'm not throwing it out. But
No,
I'm
I
telling you,
could
so
probably order a
yeah,
copy.
the
I probably.
special 30th anniversary issue, right, says the richest people in America, making it big, giving it big. So maybe you want to take this and put this like on a vision board of yours, right? Or getting it and putting it, taping it to the side of your computer or something like that, where you
Right.
remind yourself every day, not that you're looking to be any of these individuals, but these people represent what's possible for you.
Yes, absolutely.
So this will keep
I
you
see
focused,
that
Miss
now.
Elaine. Okay?
Yes, thank you.
You got it. You got it. All right. So now, Shelly, I hope you are ready because it is time that you tell us your burning question. As the newbie, I know it's okay. I love newbie questions because these are the questions that actually a lot of people have, but some people are scared to ask. So I look to your question so that we can make sure that we help some others who might be a little nervous about asking those types of questions. You got to unmute yourself though, Shelly. And while Shelly's doing that, guys, make sure that you get your ticket to the webcast, okay? Underneath this video, you see the little gray button. I know that it says join the dream team right now, but that's not what we're looking to do. Hover your mouse over that, click on that link. It will be, you will be redirected over to another page that allows you to purchase your seat to the webcast for the $17. We want you to do that right now, okay? We're going to be going over some of these things. We're going to be dealing with some of these issues in a lot more detail on Saturday. So, Elaine, you will get a little bit more of this, but that was the gist, right? And so for those of you that want to participate in that, be on the webcast. Just be on the webcast. And if you own a business, if you know someone that owns a business, a small business, an internet marketing business, a home-based business, semi-large, whatever type of business, the bottom line is that we're going to be talking about some strategies and some things that you need to be implementing every single day in your marketing to make sure that you are in a position to increase your sales, increase your customer base. Without customers and without sales, you don't have a business. I'm sorry, you have a hobby, okay? You can have a hobby that you like, and you can have a hobby that you enjoy doing, but it is not a business if you are not generating a profit, right? And then taking some of that, reinvesting into your business to grow and scale your business up. We're going to show you how to do that on this coming Saturday. So go ahead, click the button, reserve your seat for $17. And Shelly, we are right back at you, ma'am. What is your burning question?
Well, for me, it's a little different. Just listening to the two of you talk, I don't have any problem with my focus. Even when I'm at work, I'm thinking about starting my internet business, you know? So, I mean, I'm always on my computer researching, Googling, you know, you could go into Google and find the answer to any question. So I'm always on my computer. It's like a puzzle for me. And at moments when I get a little frustrated where it becomes overwhelming or too hard, right then and there is when, boom, the other piece of the puzzle, it comes together, and that motivates me. Because, I don't know, I'm a very positive person. I'm happy in my life anyway, but the reason why I want to get started is because I want to own my life. I get up every morning, I go to work, and I feel like I'm helping that other person, you know, make their business come alive. And then I come back home, and once again, I get up and I go to work. I like being in control. You know, I don't like for other people to control me. So, I don't know. And that keeps me going and trying to understand internet marketing. And my question to you is, where should I start? Like, I don't know if this question is appropriate or not for tonight. I know with Empower Network, they say you should go all in, okay? And I want to do that, and I joined iPass, all right? And I want to go and buy the Black Card membership, all right? Because it's cheaper if you do it within 7 days, I believe. It's cheaper. So I don't know if I should try to get everything perfect before I do that, or should I just learn as I continue to go along?
Okay, fair enough question. Let me ask you this. I'm going to ask you a question, right? So we can kind of hash this out together. So we've got two scenarios. Let's say we've got a person, we've got two people, right? And both of these people are, let's say they're artists, right? They paint. They're painters. And you've got one painter who has this brilliant idea, right, about what he wants to paint. And so he takes to his canvas and he begins to paint, 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 paint. Then you've got the other artist who has also a great idea about what he wants to paint. However, before he starts painting, he starts asking himself questions, and then he comes up with another question based on the previous question, right? Then he starts to answer that question in his head, and then the next day he goes to the canvas, but then he waits because he has another question in his head, and he has to find answer, right? So that we've got one guy who's just painting, and we've got one guy who's got a great idea, but he hasn't started painting yet. And then this guy over here who started painting already now has his piece of art in some type of gallery, and it's for sale, right? Now he looks at it and he goes, it looks pretty good. I probably could have changed that. I might have made that circle a little bigger. Maybe I would have made that shade of green a little bit darker. But it's okay, right? It's in a gallery. This guy is still trying to get the exact thing, right? The exact answer, the exact shade, the exact circle size, the exact everything together. He has no painting yet. Clearly he's not in a gallery yet, right? Which guy has a better chance of selling or making any money today?
The one that started his painting and not asking the questions. I agree with you 100%.
Now here's the thing. Here's the thing. You asked me, should you wait until things were perfect, right? Or should you kind of just learn as you go, right? And I am going to always be a proponent of action, right? Non-perfect action is going to always beat out the perfect non-action. Always. Even if you make a mistake, even if you don't know everything, even if you're nervous, even if it's scary, right? Even if it just seems so, daunting, even if it feels overwhelming, the non-perfect action will always return to you a more clear path as you go than the perfect non-action. Because now it's all theory, right? It's all theory. At least with your action, you're practical. You took this step, it landed you here. That's not where you want to go, so you can make a left. You know that, but you're moving forward. Over here, you're just playing chess. What if? If I move here, then this, but then that, but then that, but then this, but then that, and what if this, and what if that, and you're still at square one. So I can't tell you to do the black card. I can't tell you to do what you want to do with that. What I can tell you is that your non-perfect action will always, always grant you one step closer to where you want to go.
Right. I agree. Well, as you can see, though, I have no embarrassment. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here tonight. So.
No. You know what? And that is what would make you great at this.
Right. Because I don't care about embarrassment. I came here tonight because I know you, and I know you are very, you know your stuff. And I said to myself, I don't care what people think about me. I'm very confident in myself, so I can hold my own.
That's
I came here to see you, so.
All right, Miss Shelley. But you know what? I like boxing, right? I grew up with my dad watching boxing when I was a kid, and so I like Floyd Mayweather. Okay, for those of you that are boxing people, you know who Floyd Money Mayweather is. I follow him on Instagram, right? I'm like, Floyd Mayweather, right? And there's a reason. The reason is because I heard him say one time. I mean, I think he's a great fighter, right? Like, undefeated. But I heard him say that anytime he gets in the ring, he's willing to bet on himself more than he's willing to bet on the other guy, right? Now, I think about so many people in life where they're not willing to bet on themselves, right? They're getting into the ring of life, figuratively, right? And they have an opponent, whether it's their job or it's their, finances, or it's their spouse, or it's a negative whatever, right? It's something that they want to resolve. And they get into this ring of life, and people are not willing to bet on themselves. They're scared. They're so scared that they don't even believe that they could walk out of that ring as a victor. Well, Floyd Mayweather says, how in the hell can you bet on the other guy? Why would you be in the ring with somebody where you wouldn't put your own money on yourself, right? And as entrepreneurs, there's no other way to think, right? And so I admire that about you, that there is no room for being concerned what somebody else has to say. There is no room for someone else's judgment, right? There is no room for entertaining any of the nonsense that goes on that will keep you in a state of non-action, right? So I appreciate that. I'm so excited that you are vocalizing that and that you're sharing that, and you know what to do, right? You absolutely know what you need to do. Sometimes, I don't know if it's fear with you or not. I'm not saying that it is, but sometimes when we don't take the actions that we need, it's because we're uncertain, right? Like, uh-oh, wait a second, it's kind of risky, right? Kind of risky. I'm not sure, but that's where you bet on yourself. It's no longer a risk when you know that you're going to do what you need to do. People don't like putting their money where their mouth is sometimes because they want to blame what they bought for not getting the results, right? And what we as entrepreneurs know is that it's not about the thing, right? It's about whether we're going to do what the thing instructs us to do or advises us to do or educates us, and we have to go out and implement and do. That's what this is about. And so I know that you definitely got that under your belt, Miss Shelley. And so I don't want to hear no talk about no newbie. I don't want to hear no talk about no overwhelm no more. I don't want to hear talking none of that. I just want you to just take this information, and we'll structure it for you. We'll organize it for you, where you'll be able to just start taking your step in front of the other starting on Saturday.
Okay. And you know what, Tracy? I just love your company name. It fits you. I said to myself, you're so fly. I love it.
Thank you. You know what? I'm going to tell a quick story real fast about how I came up with the name of my company. The name of my company is called Pretty Fly Enterprises, right? And Pretty Fly, Elaine, would sit down sometimes, and I would envision having a jet, right? I've always wanted a jet, a private jet, all right? Now, there are people that talk about, oh, jets are expensive, just charter, just this, whatever. In my mind, I own this jet, okay? And I'm sitting here, and I would see this jet, and I would say, Trump has his name on the side of his jet, right? Now, I don't want my name on the side of the jet. That wasn't like, I don't know. I just didn't want my name on the side of the jet. So I'm like, what could I have on the side? What could I name my jet that would just be like the greatest thing ever? And I said something to do with fly, because you're flying, like a pun on words, right? Fly. And so, being from the urban area of things, I'm like, well, fly, I know what that means, right? So we can call it that. And then I said, oh, that's Pretty Fly, right? So I decided I was going to name my jet Pretty Fly because it would be a flight through air, right? Then as time went on, I figured that if that was going to be the name of my jet and that was the goal in front of me, right, Elaine? Well, then it would be wise to name the company, right, in lieu of the goal, right? And so as I strive and strive and strive and strive to get my jet, whenever I see the name of my company, the license plate on my Maserati says Pretty Fly too, right? Those types of things, that's what I'm looking, everywhere I go, I want to see this, right? I want to think about this. I want to remind myself daily that Pretty Fly has a meaning, right? And I visually see it in my head flying across the air. When I say Pretty Fly, I see it, right? I've designed the inside of it already, right? With my initials, we won't get into all that, but the point is detailed, right? It's extremely detailed, and that's where it comes from. So, Shelley, thank you so much for claiming me as being fly. But yes, that is where that comes from, my private jet that I will have. Maybe one day you guys can ride on my jet with me. How about that?
Sounds good.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, thank you, Miss Shelley. Okay, it looks like LaShawn popped out for a second, so we'll come back to her. And let's go over to you, Tony.
Well, as I mentioned before, I believe that success leaves clues. And what I'm really looking for, if you ask me what my burning question was for Tracy Walker tonight,
Tonight.
my burning question has to do with something I heard you say a couple of years ago. I heard you make a speech. And I've heard a number of other people say this as well, that when you first got started, you had to grind. There was a grind involved. There was work that had to be done to get that momentum going for yourself. But then it's sort of like Zig Ziglar used to talk about priming the pump. If you ever looked at some of those old Zig Ziglar tapes, he talked about at first no water's coming out at all. You're just sitting there, you're cranking. But then you see a little drop, and before you know it, you can just barely touch the handle, and water starts coming out. I remember once, Tracy, you from stage saying that the amount of time you had to put into your business to create the results that you were looking for was so small that you were almost ready to kill yourself because you were so bored. I remember hearing those words, and I'm like, what? And it was like, yeah, because you were so an hour, maybe 2 hours a day to do what you needed to do. My question for you is, what did you do in priming that pump? What did you do? What were the actions? Because I can sit here and think, okay, I'm willing to, I've heard a number of people say, oh, when I first got started, I had to put in 10, 15 hours a day to get things kicked off. And I'm sitting here saying, well, I'm willing to do that too, but what do you do with those 10 to 12 hours, whatever that number is? What did you do to prime your pump?
Oh, that's a good question. Listen, and it's super simple, right? I'm telling you, the simplicity of success is absolutely amazing, and I know that people think that there's all this stuff that they have to do, right? And in my experience, it was just a few simple things done consistently over time, right? We understand that formula. When I first got started, my mentor, his name was Dagan Smith, right? I don't know if you guys have heard of Dagan Smith or not. Some of you guys that may be newer may not have heard of Dagan Smith. You can Google him, okay? Look him up, whatever. But in 2008, when I got started, Dagan was probably, I don't know, he wasn't even 30 yet, right? I don't believe. Or he was like just 30 maybe. And he had already earned 7 figures online, okay? And I see this guy, and he's like, living his life. He's doing his thing. He's not really worried about anything. And I said, you know what? I want to learn from him, right? I just knew it. That's the one I want to learn from. So I started digging into all this stuff, and I bought everything that he had, right? I still got some of his CDs over here on the bottom of my bookshelf. I never throw stuff away, right? It's old as hell, but I never throw it away. Why? Because it's a reminder, like it's physical CDs. It's not even DVDs, like CDs that you had to put into your computer, put in your car, and learn about internet marketing by listening to it. Could you imagine that? No webinar, no Hangout. You got to listen to somebody tell you what to do for internet marketing. So anyway, I learned from him. He told me I needed 3 things. Now, this is 2008. This is pre, a lot of stuff that's online today. There was Facebook was just now picking up some steam, right? It started in 2006. MySpace was big right around that time. Video was big at that time. People were not flagging your videos like they're doing now, right? People weren't flagging or Google with their AdWords. It was still relatively easy to place your ads, do things like that. Then it wasn't this difficult process. And he told me I did 3 things. He said, you need a lead capture page. He said, you are going to need an autoresponder, and you are going to need a blog. Okay? That is the foundation of what you need, period. That's it. Everything else is just everything else. Okay? It's other stuff you could be doing, right? MySpace marketing, something that you could be doing. Facebook marketing, something that you could be doing. All this other stuff is neither here nor there. But you need these 3 things. You need a lead capture page for what purpose? To capture leads, right? When people visit your site, you need a way to get people to put in their email address so they can virtually raise their hand and say, I want to know more, right? That's what you need that for. What do you need the autoresponder for? You need the autoresponder because once the person puts in their email address, you need a way to follow up with these people on automation. You cannot follow up with thousands of people one-on-one. Right? I'm not going to be picking up the phone, calling every single lead that I ever get once you get to a point where you're generating more leads than you can handle. It's impossible, right? And you need a blog because the blog is going to be the way that you're going to communicate with these people, and you are going to build rapport, you're going to build a relationship with them, and you're going to give them an inside perspective as to who you are through leveraging this piece of content or the pieces of content you're going to put on this ever-changing thing called a blog, right? If you do those three things consistently, you'll never have a problem, right? You never have a problem. And Tony, that's what I did. I blogged, and when I say blogged, at that time, I would write an article every single day, right? I would write an article every single day. He told me, write an article a day. There were days that I got tired of writing, so I would do a video in its place, right? I would speak it as opposed to physically write it because I didn't feel like writing because I was tired, I was bored, right? This is mundane. This is aggravating me. But he told me to do it, right? And every day I would write it. I would do some keyword research. I would write an article every single day. I would post it to my blog every single day without fail, right? And or exchange it for that video. What I would do is then I would go to YouTube, I would do a video, and I would teach people a piece of content. Maybe it was about the article that I had written, or maybe I had written an article about what is my story marketing and how you can leverage my story marketing in your business. And I would do a video about my story marketing. And I would tell people at the end of my video, if you want to know more about how to be successful online, head over to my blog at, right, abc.com and get more information. And I would constantly drive people to this blog, right? And my blog at that time had an opt-in on it, right? So at the top of it, it had my banner, right? And I mean, I can tell you what that blog, even if I still have it up, let me see. That blog is MLMiseasyonline.com. I may have it forwarded to somewhere else. Yeah, I do. I have it forwarded to my new blog because I don't really put content on it anymore. But it was MLMiseasyonline.com. And at the top, it had my banner, and it had a video, and it had an opt-in box, right, where my video said, hey, welcome to my blog. Make sure you put your name and email in the form to the right or whatever, and I'm going to send you more information about how to do whatever I just said. But I was constantly driving people to that blog, and people got to that blog, that video told them to put their email in, put their email in, put their email in, right? And when people put their email in, they were on my list, on my list, on my list. And what would I do? Write an article the very next day. Now when I wrote this new article the next day, I would send it out to my list, right? Okay. And when they would read, now my article also at the bottom had a call to action, which was to my business or to my whatever I was selling, right? Sure. And so this cycle, this circular cycle of having these three fundamental tools and then doing a video that gave some information that did nothing but tell about the article I just written. Like I wasn't trying to talk about everything. I talked about the same thing I just wrote about, but I put it in video form. I told people to go to my video go to my blog at the end of that. At the blog, it had an opt-in where the video told them to opt in. When they opted in, they would get tomorrow's post in their inbox with my call to action, where I was on another video the next day that talked about that article, that sent them back to the same blog, that told them to put their email in the same box, that gave them the same blog for the article for the next day, right? And over and over and over and over and over, what happened is people like Shelly started to reach out and say, you know, I've been following you for 2 months, right? I've been following you for 6 months. Tracy, you know, I've been on your list for 2 years, right? And I'm ready to do something now. Not everybody is going to buy day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 24, day 34, right? Your face may be new. People, we live in a society where we are inundated with advertising. We're inundated with fluff. We don't know who to trust. There are people who have been scammed. People don't know whether you're a scam, right? Some people just regard the internet period as being a scam, right? If you're on the internet selling anything, you've got to be ripping people off, right? There's no way you can make $1 million legally, right, in a business. Unless I play football, that's the only legal way to make millions of dollars, right? Working 6 months out the year. There's no other way unless you're scamming people. That's what people think, right? And so therefore, we have to work really hard with building that trust. Yeah. And following that cycle over and over and over again, and showing your face and being seen and being in a headscarf and showing your office and having your baby seat right next to you, on your desk, and having junk in the places, and having your cat go walk back and forth in your videos. The reason why that's all great, and Shelly doesn't need to be perfect, is because when people can look at that and say, man, this person's just like me, that's when they buy. Right? If they're always watching you on a green screen with a suit, right, and your hair is always done every single time like you're the news anchor, you become this unrealistic thing that they could never attain because they don't have time for that. They have too many responsibilities. They only got 2 hours a day. They don't have enough money for the green screen. They don't have all this equipment. You become an unreachable goal. And so, Tony, that's what I did. That's what I grinded out doing every single day. Every single day.
So Tracy, it sounds like, what you're talking about with doing the video and sending them back to your blog and working through those things, that's really a couple hours a day of work. So was the front end part of that just getting your blog established, putting it all together? This is WordPress. You had to do all that and get that established, get your autoresponder established, your capture page and so forth. Was that what took the 10 to 15 hours a day? But now once you passed that, you were just doing the operation.
Because I didn't know what the hell I was doing, Tony, right? The process is a simple process, right?
Right.
A blind man could see that that's not hard to do, right? It's not hard to do a video, direct people, right? That process is fine. It's easy. It's wonderful. Yes, I got it. But then sit yourself down in front of WordPress.
Yeah.
There was no training on WordPress. There was no group, no community, nobody teaching the stuff that we teach now. And now I have to learn HTML. And I'm trying to figure out, well, wait a minute. I have to install it where? Hosting, well, what is that? Well, where do I get it? Where do I put it? I don't even know what this is. Where's the blog at once I install it? What's a URL?
Right.
Right? It's that. It's the details. Okay, great. I got an autoresponder, but now how do people get messages? Oh, I have to write the messages? Oh my God. So now I got to sit here. Now I got to figure out what to say and write, and what order do I put this stuff in? Right? How do I know that it's even connected and working together?
Yeah.
Right? How do I know that? How do I know that my blog is actually connected to the autoresponder? How do I know that the people who I sent the email to got it, right, if nobody's responding yet, right? So I was constantly putting myself on my own list, right? I would opt into my own stuff to see if it's working.
Absolutely, yeah.
When I got it, I knew it worked. But yes, Tony, that the long and short of it is the 15-hour days, the 24-hour days was in the development of things that in today's day and age can be done in a snap.
Right.
Done in a snap. Back then, there was no one teaching that because you had to read how to install a blog. No one was showing you in a video through a screen capture, right? Let me show you my screen. That wasn't going on. I had to look at a diagram and read it and try to figure out if what I'm doing is matching what the author of this PDF is telling me to do, And it was painstaking. I lost my blog like 3 times, putting in wrong code, deleting crap, and the blog disappearing after I just spent 12 hours getting it to where it was. That's why I say I've cried. Nicole knows. I cried on the phone with her when we were getting started.
Wow. So you mentioned that the things were different back then. What would you do differently now if you were starting out and you had just gotten those instructions, get your capture page, get your blog. Let's say you got all that stuff set up. What would you do differently in 2015 than you would have done a couple years ago or a few years ago when you first got started?
Well, I don't know if I would have done anything differently because I did what I could do based on the information that was available to me,
Sure.
right?
Sure, but today's environment is different.
Yes, today's environment. So I think I would still do the same thing, but I think that the speed of my implementation would be a lot faster because of the way that I could have learned how to do those things quickly.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I would have still written an article every day or a blog I mean, we're still telling people that, right? Blog daily. We're still saying that. So I don't feel that that's any different. I still think people need to have their autoresponder. I still think people need to have a lead capture page. That's all the same. I think that now just the ability for people, and even for me if I were starting over, to tap into how to do that is so much more at the drop of a dime that somebody could be up and running in 3 minutes, literally, right? Now, it doesn't mean that the learning curve is gone, but having those things connected is there as soon as you sign up to something in a lot of places. So I think that's the same.
So the difference is maybe syndication. You do syndication differently now than you would have done back then because there's more channels now than there was back then, or
you know what? I'm gonna leave that to one's personal preference, right? Because I don't try to do everything that's out. Mm-hmm. You know, I pick 2 things and I focus on those 2 things. Even if something new comes along, I might buy a product about it, right? Just so I'm familiar. I might read about it, you know, or somebody on my team might be experiencing success with it. But I don't drop what I'm doing to go and do it over here because it's new or it's additional, right? Unless I see extreme value in my time now being diversified into doing that thing. So for me, I still do the same things now that I did then. My blogs go to my list, right? To this day, I spend my time building my list.
Okay.
The same thing. So now I might not spend my time building a list via video the same way I did before because people flag my videos, right? They're haters. So now I'll spend my time doing all those videos and then people's flagging them and now my YouTube channel will get shut down and now all that traffic goes no. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a little bit more strategic on how I build my list now. So I've changed that. But in terms of how I'm getting the word out about my content, it's the same. People opt into my list. They get that blog because when I send it out, they're on that list. They get it. And I'm doing my best to write. Well, now I hire. Okay, put it like this. I have a blog writer. Right, I'll still do my keyword research. I'll send my keywords to my blog writer. He will write the content on my behalf, send it to my assistant. My assistant then takes that content, posts it on my blog, looks for valid and relevant images, puts those inside of the blog post for me, and posts it as a draft. Then I come in there, I read over what has been put there and approve or make the changes, and then I hit publish.
Nice.
Right? So, but the process is the same. I've just kind of removed how I'm involved in it.
Yeah, you outsourced a little bit. Yes. That's awesome. I don't want to capitalize on all your time, but I appreciate you. This is worth the seminar right now, just hearing what you just told us. So.
Well, good. Well, good. I mean, that was the whole point, right? I want people to understand that this is worth it, right? This is, I mean, $17 freaking. Like, I'm on here right now. Like, I had my stepdaughter had a basketball tournament tonight, right? And so we're flying home from the tournament because I got to do the hangout at 9 o'clock, right? I get here, I start the hangout. I had to hide my camera because I had to nurse my son a little bit, right, while I'm starting to hang out, like literally, right? And then once I'm done with him, I give him to his dad. I put the camera back on, right, and we continue on. It's like life is moving, you know, and I'm just as committed to this as I would expect anybody else who's paying their money to be committed to it because I really want people to get it. I really want people to understand that it's not hard. It's not hard, but it takes some refinement of the way that we approach projects, the way that we approach tasks, and our commitment to what we're saying that we truly want. That's really what a lot of this is about. you know. And so that's why I'm here, and I hope people are getting value. So Tony, thank you for asking those questions.
Oh, you're welcome. And Tracy, by the way, your Hangout with Tracy page, that button is absolutely correct now. It says reserve your webcast seat here.
Oh, does it?
Yes.
Well, how about that?
So I
Well,
just want you to know that. So, folks, if you're listening to this and you haven't went ahead and reserved that $17 seat, you guys are silly. You just need to go ahead and get it done, because you see here, if she's willing to give this to you for free, what can you expect on Saturday when she's got 3 hours to lay it all out from end to end? So that's it, Tracy. I just want to give it back to you.
all right. Well, Tony, thank you so much. I certainly appreciate it. As Tony has indicated, click the gray button, reserve your webcast seat, $17. And we're going to head over to LaShawn. We're going to get her question answered. And then, guys, we're almost done. I'm going to give you what I'm going to be raffling off, okay, and how you can be part of that pool that we're going to pull from. And there's an automated software that does it. It's not like I'm going to actually need your name in a hat or anything like that. We're going to do all that stuff systematically. So get your webcast ticket now. And LaShawn, what is your burning question, young lady?
Well, Tony, I was laughing when Tony was asking his questions because I have a list here of different things, and he actually asked several of the questions. So thank you very much, Tony.
Go, Tony.
Well, one of the questions that is a burning question for me is, what would you suggest as a good, a good way to build a steady business instead of one that has a huge influx of cash one month and then little to no cash influx the next month? How do you have any suggestions or pointers on how we can successfully build a steady business?
Yeah, it's gonna have to do with your consistency, right? Because what we got to remember is this: anything that we experience out there is a reflection of what's going on in here, right? We might hear the phrase "as above, so below," right? On earth as it is in heaven, right? It's all saying the same thing. What we see out there is just a representation of what's going on here. So when people experience volatility, right, in a business where we have more control, I'm not talking about the stock market, right? Because the stock market, like Robert Kiyosaki says, the stock market is like you driving a car with your hands on the steering wheel, where the wheel has no steering column connected to the car. So you're holding a wheel, but you're not steering anything. You think you're in control, but you're controlling zero, right? So we're not talking about that. We're talking about something that we actually have some control over, right? So our consistency with how we build and how we approach and how we market will generate the result that we want with the consistency out there in terms of consistent buyers, consistent signups, consistent sales, consistent leads, consistent whatever, consistent growth, all right? So the concept, I want to make sure that I frame that concept properly first. Now, from a tactical approach, like what you do, listen, like I shared with Tony, you got to decide what you want to do first, right? So for me, I was going to write an article every single day, or I was going to do a video in lieu of writing that article, right? I'm going to be consistent in that, all right? Every day, no matter what. Now you got to set an intention, right? By you doing this, what do you intend to happen? Right? Well, I intend for people to watch my information, feel and believe that I am trustworthy enough to take the very next step, which is all I'm asking is go to this website, right? And once they get to this website, I'm going to give them a little bit more information about who I am and then instruct them to take another step, right? One step at a time. I intend for people to follow my instructions. Follow my directions one step at a time until we get them down the road to where they say they want it to be. Right? Now, where is that they say they want it to be? Well, they said that they want it to be. Now, this is all about target marketing, right? We'll talk about this too. They said, because my target market is saying that they want to be in control of their own life. They don't want the financial bondage. They don't want the emotional bondage. They don't want that stuff, right? So because I'm talking to that market in the first place, I know where they want to be. And because I know where they want to be, I intend to walk them down the path till they get to where they said they wanted, which is working directly with me because I am the light bearer, right? One of the many. I am the light bearer. And so because I know I'm the light bearer and you want to follow the light, then you got to take step 1, step 2, step 3. So if I am going to expect and intend for others to take each step along the path, then I have to be willing to be there every single step of the way, right? So now I have to market daily, don't I? I have to write my articles or do my videos daily. I have to make sure I'm sending out my information to my list daily. I have to build a rapport and build a relationship with the people who said I want more daily. Sometimes I have to talk about my personal life. Sometimes I'm just going to send pictures about my vacation. Sometimes I'm going to post a video of my son acting silly with sunglasses on. Right? Sometimes I'm going to talk about you need to buy this because you need to buy this. Right? It's going to help you get to where you want to go. Sometimes I'm going to say happy holidays, right? I have to be consistent in my approach with my potential customer, with my potential buyer, if I expect the buyers to be consistent with me in terms of my income, right? So it's a twofold type of thing. So whatever it is that you decide that you are going to implement as your initial marketing strategy, right? Your way that you're going to get your voice heard, get your word out, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Pinterest, whether it's, SoundCloud because you like to speak in its audios, whatever it is, then you got to commit to reaching your audience daily with that. And when they can see, LaShawn, that you are consistent, it's hard for people to deny your consistency, right? It's hard. It's hard for somebody who saw me 3 years ago and said I was a scam, possibly, to come back to the internet, see me still here, but now further along. It's hard for them to deny that. And that is what allows people to say, you know what? She's still in the game. She's still moving. She's being consistent. And that inadvertently will cause your business, because there's millions of people everywhere. And people are reacting at different points in their lives, right? Different time frames, different circumstances, different things going on, that everybody's going to do it when it's right for them. But when you're out there so much and so consistent, whenever it's right for them, it's daily for you. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because somebody will respond. So you will always be in a position to draw in business consistent if you remain consistent.
Okay. The type of personality that I have, I do get bored easily. So I always feel like I have to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and sometimes you can get lost in translation that way. So my mind is always racing in a million different directions. From your professional opinion, from your professional experience, do you think that one strategy really is the way to go for someone who's new on the journey, or should you try several different avenues? Because the one fear that I have is getting involved in one strategy that I think will work and then not seeing any kind of movement in the first week. We want instant, right? So you don't get any kind of response the first week, or not at least what you anticipated. So would you suggest giving something, one particular strategy, a go for a month or 2 months before you try a different strategy? Or would you say dedicate a specific amount of time to this particular strategy today and then dedicate it this amount to a different strategy tomorrow? So what's your take on that?
I'm sorry, I was muted. My opinion is this. You can't chase two rabbits at the same time and expect to catch one. Okay? If I've got two rabbits in the field, I got to pick which one I'm going to run after. Right? Because if they split on me and do like this, I got to pick one. Okay? And that is the approach that I take to marketing. Now, do I understand your theory in reference to, oh my goodness, I'm doing Facebook and Facebook is taking too long, or Facebook changed on me, or some other something, some other external factor, right? That's a theory, right? That could be possible, but you're taking actions based on something that hasn't even happened to you yet.
Right.
Right. You're trying to prohibit it from happening to you. So then you're doing scattered, right?
Right.
And that's not working either, right? So here, my suggestion, LaShawn, is that you pick one, no more than two. Okay, I don't believe that you have to just do one, but I don't think anything more than two is going to be beneficial because someone is new, right? And if you're new, it's like my son, he's 6 months old, right? I can't have him try to eat every single type of food there is right now, right? He's new. He can only eat puree foods right now, right? And he can only eat, these type of fruits first, so we can test and see about the allergic reaction, then the next set, right? Then the next set, then the next set, and before long, he's eating everything, like us, right? If I tried to give him all the available foods because I was afraid one food was going to break him out, and if I didn't have another food ready and lined up, then he wouldn't eat. You see, it would be ridiculous.
Right.
Okay? So pick one, no more than two. And here's what you want to do, LaShawn. It's money is speed. Money is speed. Okay? You probably won't have to worry about any of the strategies changing on you that fast if you're moving, if you're going, right? So if you decide I'm going to do Facebook, I'm going to do Instagram, it's not going to take you forever to learn Instagram. Find somebody that knows how to do Instagram, buy their training on Instagram, learn it, and start doing it tonight. Do you see what I'm saying? Tonight, tomorrow, you can be up and running with that in the next 24 hours, right? Now, your expertise comes from when you see the type of results that you get, right? And some people might opt in, but then you realize, oh, wait a minute, not enough people are opting in based on the number of views I got. So let me change what I said on the picture. Don't stop posting the picture. Change what you said on it, right? And then you begin to start tweaking different things, and you start honing and sharpening this axe until you start getting the more refined result that you want to get. You have to go through that process, LaShawn, to become an expert on something, in anything. In anything. You have to go through the 10,000 hours, right, of the thing before you can even be deemed an expert on the thing, right? Michael Jordan didn't play all the sports because he was afraid that if he played the one sport, he wouldn't get picked up in that one sport. So instead, I'm going to try to play all the sports, and hopefully I'll get drafted in one of the three. No.
Right.
You're going to play basketball. You're going to hone your skill in basketball, and you're going to get drafted in basketball. Now, there are a few exceptions, right? We got Bo Jackson, somebody like him, who did football and baseball, right? And whoever was it, Deion Sanders or somebody else did two sports? I don't know. But those are such rare instances that we mustn't concern ourselves with those rarities, right?
Okay.
The bottom line is that I got good at blogging, LaShawn, because I blog daily, right? I got good at blogging, LaShawn, because I lost my blog 2 or 3 times. Right? And when I lost it, it forced me, LaShawn, to figure out how to get it back. And whatever knowledge I attained during my development before I lost it, magically, I was able to pull on that information to help me get the blog up the next time faster now, right? Because I had learned something. And doing that over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Now, if you have a second strategy, that you're doing simultaneously, then you're building something good, right? That this is great. You're kind of building two houses at once. Two houses at once is great. But if you're trying to build a whole subdivision, LaShawn, and you've never ever built one house before in your life, that means you're more prone to F up all the houses now, aren't you?
Yes.
Wouldn't you rather just mess up the first house, learn and make the second house better, than to start the foundation on 40 houses, not know anything about the code, not know anything about what needs to happen, and now you've screwed up 40 houses?
Right. Totally understand. I got you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Go though. Go. Speed of implementation. Right. Time is money. Money is speed. You gotta go. You learn something. You implement it tonight. Today. You go. You try to get results tonight. There is nothing that any of the people on this panel, any guys listening, there is nothing that you should implement tonight and not be able to get leads from tonight. It's not hard to get leads. Most people just have paralysis. Right? And they're trying to study and study and study. It's like I told Shelly, it's the painter that has, the perfected, non-action. And that's not what we're doing. Entrepreneurship is ready, fire, then aim. It's not ready, aim, fire. It's ready, fire. See what you did wrong. Where did you miss the target? How far off were you? Then you aim. Then you adjust, and then you fire again. Then you adjust. Then you keep firing, and then you keep aiming. If you're ready, and then you're aiming, waiting, you'll never fire, right? So no more than 2. Go fast. Learn those things. Get results with those things. And as long as you have one of those strategies as a non-trend, like some type of social media, you're going to be fine, right? And that was the whole point in Dagan telling me to write content, right? So when YouTube shut down my channel, LaShawn, guess who still had content working for them in Google search engine? Right? When MySpace was no longer generating the traffic because people didn't care about MySpace anymore, everybody was on Facebook, and I didn't have a Facebook account, and I didn't have one friend on Facebook yet, guess who was still getting leads and traffic and sales because I had content on something that was stable and was not a trend?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So in all of your endeavors, content is king. Okay, and you having information that is ranked and searchable by anybody who's looking for it is going to be your bread and butter, regardless of whatever else is out there. One stable thing that you need to do always is content. Okay, some of content strategy, and everything else could be social media, this, that, an ad, a solo ad, whatever. Play around whatever you want, but you got to have that one consistent content strategy, because that's what's going to do it. That's what's going to do it. You got it?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yay, you're welcome. Okay, so do you have a better idea? Do you know what you're going to do now? Or you have a better idea of how to choose?
Oh, yes. Definitely
Okay.
diversification, and I understand the importance of the content being king, just as cash is king. So I got it.
Okay, so here's what I want you to do, LaShawn. I got homework for everybody, really, okay? And it's separate, it's different. Elaine, okay? I want you to send me an email, right? It doesn't have to be to the group, just to me. Send me an email that is identifying for me what your why is, detailed out in your own words what your why is, and the fact that you are going to remain focused as a result of you paying attention to this why every single day. Okay, and you are not quitting, you are not leaving until the goal is achieved, right? Shelly, I want you to tell me the first 3 steps that you are going to take. The first 3 steps that you are going to take. Step number 1, step number 2, and step number 3. The thing that you are going to do next to get the train moving out the station.
Okay.
All right? Tony, I want you to tell me exactly what processes you are going through to every single day in your business that is that reflects, I don't want to say your grind, because you may or may not be in a grind phase, but what is your daily action plan that you are doing? okay, every single day that's generating business for you. Okay, and then LaShawn, I want you to tell me your number 1 and your number 2 strategies that you are going to focus on for at least the next 30 days without being distracted by any new pop-up strategy.
Okay.
Fair enough, everybody?
Yes.
All right, good deal. And I'll respond back, okay, once I get those things in, and we'll go from there. I promised people that I was going to do some coaching tonight, right? I promised people that. And I hope that you guys experienced that, or that you got something from it. And everyone that's listening in, I hope that you recognize that I am a woman of my word, and that when I said that's what I was going to do, that's what I was going to do. I also hope that you gained some insight tonight, even if you were not on the panel. Right? Even if you were not on the panel, I hope that you gained some insight, because the whole goal here is to be amongst a group of people that is like a mastermind, where people who know what they are doing are working together, okay? Or you're at least learning from people that know what they are doing. I will also say this. You can learn from a lot of different people. Right? You can have one person that trains you in this area. You have a mentor in that area. You have a this and you have a that. But at some point in time, you are going to have to choose who you are going to listen to until you get a certain type of result. Right? It doesn't mean you're discrediting any of your other mentors, or you're leaving them, or you are turning your back to them. What that means is that you have got to stay focused, because you can't serve 2 masters at once, in a sense, right? You've got to focus on that. So with that being said, that's what I did, right? Dagan, for a period of time, was the lone person that I focused on. And when he said go left, I went left. When he said go right, I went right. Right? And when I got to a certain level and I felt like I had the things that he was teaching me in my grasp, then I could set my sights on another mentor, right? That could help me go from this point to that point, and so on and so forth, moving up the ladder, right? On and on and on and on and on. And then you reflect on all of these people, and then you have relationships with all of them, right? So, guys, tonight I want you to make a decision to stick with me, okay? To stick with me at least through a period of time where you're making your first $5,000 or $10,000 a month, okay? Because I promise you that if you follow things that I'm telling you to do, there's no reason why you can't do it. There's no reason why you can't do it. The only reason why you would not do it is because you're either sidetracked, you're listening to what somebody else is telling you, and that's okay, but they're promising you faster results, so you took your eye off the prize, you went over here, you did this for 30 minutes, and that took you 30 minutes off the plan of what we're doing. Right? And so we want everybody to stay focused and stay on track and stay, in alignment with where we're going with this, okay? That's the whole point. So first $5,000 to $10,000 per month, stick with me. Stick with me. I promise you it's possible to do it, right? My goal is to create these success stories with you guys, because if you guys don't do it, right, if you don't do it, then the people that you are designed to impact will not be impacted, right? They won't be impacted in the way that they should be, because they're waiting on you to do it, right? And we need you to rise to your calling. We need you to rise to your greatness. We need you to rise to the level that you desire, and the fact that you desire it means that God has given you all that you need to attain it. That is as simple as that. If you can even, at its simplest form, if you sense the desire to do it, then you already have everything that you need to make it happen. So my goal is to help you kind of churn these things out and put them out in the universe, get them out there for you to see them and start taking action and start realizing those dreams that you have. Tony, I did get your email. Let me come back over to the chat. Let me, your message here. And to the panelists, if you look in the chat, I am putting my email address there, okay, for you to send in those brief little things, okay? So you can send that to me at that email address, okay? That's a private email address, so I can not, tell that to the whole world, and then I get flooded with stuff. So there we go with that. So you guys have that. I hope that you guys got some value for tonight. I was only supposed to be going for 90 minutes. We actually went for 120 minutes. So I appreciate your time this evening. I have a screaming baby boy downstairs, so I'm going to take it that he is hungry and sleepy. So I'm going to get to him, attend to him very, very quickly. I love you guys, and for those of you that are watching on the Hangout, here's what you're going to need to do in order to win the raffle. Oh my goodness, where is my, what you call it? Give me 2 seconds. I didn't have it in here. I'll be right back. Tony, say something phenomenal as I get back.
Yeah, absolutely, Tracy. I'll tell you what, we're fired up about what Tracy shared with us tonight. Just think about it. You know, Tracy showed that Forbes magazine that had the Fortune or the Forbes or Fortune 500 or whoever, those millionaires. How hard is it to get insights from those millionaires who are on that Forbes magazine? It's a very difficult thing, but guess what? Because you took some time out of your schedule, you were able to pick the brain of a millionaire tonight and do it for free. And know that on Saturday, you need to go to hangoutwithtracy.com, where you probably are. Click on that gray button. Go ahead and join us. Be there, because I'm gonna be there taking notes like a fiend. I mean, I was taking notes tonight, but I got more notes I got to take on Saturday, because I've blocked the day off because it's that important. You know, 2015 could be the year of your breakthrough. It's only going to be the year of your breakthrough if you're willing to invest in yourself to get an upgrade in your mind, so it can be the 2.0 version of yourself to get you to your goals and your dreams. So back to you, Tracy.
Tony, thank you so much. I appreciate you so greatly, my dear. All right, so guys, here's the deal, all right, as we close out for the evening. In order for your name, your email to be thrown into the raffle, by the way, you guys will be put into the raffle, okay? The panelists tonight, your names will go in the raffle as well. But in order for your name to be put into the raffle, you have to have your seat reserved for the webcast. Okay, you have to, because we're going to go through this list. We're going to take all the names of the people who have RSVP'd, and we're going to put your name inside of this little super software that'll just kick out however many names I say, okay? And here's what you're going to win. And I don't know if you have this or not, but if you don't, then great. And if you do, then give it to somebody, okay? Give it to somebody, because they're going to need it, all right? So here's the first prize that you're going to get. Now, here's the thing. You have to register by midnight tonight. It's already 11 p.m. Eastern. To midnight Pacific Standard Time, okay, for those of you that are on the West Coast. And that would be 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? So 12 midnight Pacific Standard Time, Pacific Standard Time, and 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is the cutoff. And I will look and I will see when your purchase order was made based on the timestamp, and that's how I'm going to choose, okay? There's no joking about the timestamp, all right? So if you get your seat reserved by midnight tonight, Pacific Standard Time, your name will go in the software, and prize number 1 is going to be the book Money, Master the Game by Tony Robbins. Okay, now I know Tony said he was a student of Tony Robbins at the very, very beginning, right? And so, look, guys, this book, right, this book is something that everybody needs to have in their library, okay? Everybody needs to have it in their library. So what I'm going to do is I am going to pick two people for this prize, okay? So you need to put your get your webcast ticket and webcast seat is $17 right now. And I'm going to tell you right now, this book is more than $17, okay? The book is $28. Okay, so I am going to give you something that costs more than what you would need to spend to get the knowledge that I'm going to be sharing with everybody on the webcast on Saturday. So this is prize number 1, going to go out to 2 people randomly chosen, Tony Robbins, Money, Master the Game. Okay, now the second prize is this, or something similar to this. Now, it doesn't have to be pink, just so you guys know. But what this is, it is a light that clips onto your book, so that you can read your book at night in the bed, on the plane, wherever, okay? And you just hit the little button, see, and the light comes on, right? Now, this is pretty cool, because sometimes you don't want to have all the lights on in your whole house, in your whole bedroom, trying to read, right? So it just clips on like this, right? And it shows the whole 2 sides of the book for you, right? A wonderful little gift, right? Now, if I add this to it, this is clearly, both of these gifts together are obviously more than $17, right? More than $17. And so I'm going to give this away to 2 lucky people as well. So that would be a total of 4 people, right? So 2 people are going to get the book, and 2 people are going to get the book light, okay? The book Nightlight. So guys, listen. All of you guys who have already purchased your webcast tickets, you are already going to be thrown into that pool. So you're good, Elaine, Shelly, LaShawn, and Tony, and everybody else that gets this done. Click on the button right now underneath this video that says reserve your webcast seat, $17 by 3 a.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. Your name will be put into the hat. And on tomorrow night, I'm going to reveal who the winners are. In fact, we're going to be meeting back here again tomorrow night, okay? From about 9, we're going to try to do till about 10:30. And what I'm going to do tomorrow night is I'm going to take the next 10 buyers. I'm going to take the next 10 buyers, all right, that already bought. Now, that means we're going to have a whole new panel, right? We're going to go through the same type of thing. We're going to ask some questions. We're going to get people some coaching, and we're going to give people a chance to recognize that, you know what, this is really something that's doable, right? This is really doable, and we're going to connect, and we're going to help people start to reach their goals and their dreams. So go ahead, get your webcast ticket. This video will be on replay for 24 hours. Tomorrow night at 9 p.m., it is going to go away because we're going to replace it with a new webcast live, and then that's going to be that. All right. Now, for those of you that are here tonight, I will be sharing the link with you for the replay. All right, so that you can get the replay just in case you need to take a look at it later on or whatever. So you guys will get that as a little bonus. And we're going to go ahead and call it a night. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, being co-hosts with me. I love you. I will see you guys on Saturday. And everybody else, make sure you click the gray button, get your webcast seat now, and I look forward to calling your name tomorrow on the webcast. Later.
Thanks, Tracy.
You got it.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.